Shalom, family. It's good to see everybody here. We're going to just talk briefly about. I'm noticing how different these same folks are acting when it comes down to the migrants. And just take notice, a lot of the heat they got is strictly for us. It's not for anyone else. It's just like these cops out here, and I'm going to get around to them too. You notice all this crime is going on from these migrants, okay? People have been killed up in the shelters from them breaking out in fights. In fact, I got a video that I may be putting out later today where Eric Adams is talking about putting cameras in the shelters because there are so many fights breaking out in the shelters among these migrants. He wants to put cameras up in there. And people have already been killed in the shelters from those fights. And you notice none of the cops are in fear of their lives. You notice none of them that are arresting these migrants are in fear of their lives. See, all of that is for us. Karen and Darren is out in these streets coming for us. You notice you don't hear about them asking these migrants for ID, but they'll walk up to a black man and woman. I need to see ID, like they need our slave papers, right? Do you hear about them walking up to migrants asking for ID? Do you hear them talking about they look suspicious? These migrants look suspicious. So it's revealing a lot, y'all. It's revealing a lot. So you know now all of their smoke is exclusively for the black community. It's not for anyone else. Just take note. Do y'all, all the retail theft that's going on with these migrants, do you hear about these Karens calling the police inside the store like they do on black people? A black man can walk in the store minding his business and she'll be on the phone. Oh, he looks strange. Oh, he looks suspicious. Oh, they'll be calling the cops on you. You notice they're not calling the cops on these migrants up in the store and they're stealing everything out the store. Have you heard one story about Karen or Darren calling the police or blocking them in the parking lot so they can't leave? Do you see Karen and Darren out here doing that? So it just goes to prove that they only got this smoke for black people only. They don't do this to everyone. It's amazing how nobody looks suspicious. You don't need to see no ID. You're not having any issues. Yeah. But with us, a black man can just cross the street and all of a sudden they'll run up on them. You notice how they always run up on black men and women out on the street. We don't go to them. They run up on us. You notice they're not running up on these migrants. Now, Ralph Yarl went to the wrong house by accident. He got shot. These migrants are going door to door to Karen and Darren's house. Is anybody getting shot? Okay, just look at how different, how brand new Karen and Darren is. Is anybody getting shot for approaching a door? No, no, they're not. So y'all just understand this, all these things you see them doing out in the street and them showing their behind when they're around us and running off at the mouth and they gonna call the cops and all that stuff. That is just exclusively for us. Just take note. And I know I can't be the only one that noticed this. You notice they're not up in these schools because these migrant kids are in school. They're in school. You notice they're not complaining about them. They can't even many of them can't even speak English. You notice they're not complaining about their hair and how they look and what they're doing and You notice Karen and Darren teachers aren't putting them out of the class and all that stuff. They're not doing none of that. They're not doing none of that. Let this be the proof that all of this hate they are walking around with is exclusively for one group of people. It's not for anyone else. And this is the proof. With all these migrants here, you don't see them conducting themselves in the same way. Okay? And they got crime. Look, the migrants got crime rings out here. And notice how nobody looks suspicious to Karen and Darren all of a sudden. Even the hotels that they're being kept up in, you don't hear Karen and Darren complaining and trying to get them kicked out of the hotel like they do to black folk. You don't see none of this stuff going on. So it just goes to show you, they want us to believe that when they do these things, we're causing this stuff to happen. No, we're not. We have never caused it to happen. We have never caused this stuff to happen. Never. Oh, well, the police, they stop y'all. Why don't you follow their commands? You sure don't tell these migrants to follow no police commands. You don't tell these migrants to do it. The courts are releasing them back out into the public after they have committed felonies. Okay? Felonies. And I did one in in New York City. He physically attacked a woman, an American woman. Okay? He got out the next day. He got out the next day. So no cop is in fear of their life. You don't see them when they arrest them. You don't see them screaming and hollering and going over the top with them. You don't see them pulling guns and tasers and everything out like they do with us, unarmed. And you don't see them pumping 50 bullets in these migrants. You don't see none of that stuff. The same actions they use on us, you don't see none of that out here. You don't see none of it. I'm going to post the link and y'all tell me what you think. So now this, ladies and gentlemen, should reveal to you that all that stuff they have been doing out here has been only for us. It has not been for anybody else, regardless to whether a crime is being committed or not. This system is set up to come after and try to destroy us. So y'all let me know. You notice the difference now that these folks are here and they're not doing nothing but mooching off of the system. And they said the vast majority of them are not even looking for work. The vast majority of them are looking to mooch off of the system. And that's exactly what they're doing. Talking about some asylum and they're coming to look for a better life. And no, they're not. They're coming to take. They're coming to take. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're not talking none of that crap they talk to us. So let that be proof that all of the things you see in policing, have you seen them pull the dogs out? I remember a story I did a few years ago where a black woman was shoplifting and they sent a dog out after this black woman and the dog tore her scalp off. Do y'all remember that story? All of the robbing and stealing these migrants are doing. Do you even see the K9 unit coming out? I haven't seen one police dog on these migrants. right? So, y'all, let that be a well known lesson that everything they do to us in policing and Karen and Darren out on the streets is for nobody but us. Quantum Solace, thank you so much for the super chat. They have a perpetual hatred towards us. Think about it. Only 14% of them encourage us to get reparations, which lets you know they could care less about us. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it is showing you in this society, all of that smoke they got is just for us. Just for us. And look, if you go on social media, you know who they are bothering? Us. Do you notice you don't even see them putting out a lot of videos complaining about these migrants? But you see a lot of videos out here about them complaining on Black people. You notice you don't even see that. They're not even bringing the smoke to social media. If anybody want to come up and talk, I'll drop the link again. But I just notice how different everything really truly is now. So, it's revealing a lot more as far as the attitude of these folks. So now you know they are full of crap. And they are full of crap when it comes down to the money. All this money that have been poured on these migrants, you don't hear not one, not even in the media. You don't hear about none of them complaining about all the taxpayer dollars. But as soon as you say the word reparations, they are complaining about my taxpayer dollar, my taxpayer dollar. Well, you notice you don't hear them saying that? None of them. None. And you notice the media is not sitting around trying to defend the cops when they arrest these migrants like they do with us. If one of us get gunned down and killed, they're all over the US media is all everywhere blasting and defending the cops. You notice when it comes down to these migrants, you notice they're not running to defend the cops in their actions. You know why? Because they don't have to. The cops are not harming the migrants. See, they don't have to do that. See, again, the media in this country, that smoke is only for us. It's not for anyone else. But just look how brand new these people are getting all of a sudden. Hmm. Oh, yeah. They're not bothering the migrant kids. They're not bothering their elderly. They're not doing none of that stuff. But they'll be the first one to do that to your child, complaining about the hair, complaining about them doing this and what they got on and what they said. Oh, that your child is in kindergarten and they're calling the cops on your little kid in kindergarten. Oh, well, your child can't take their school portrait. Look at their hair. And I have never seen one instance where the hair did not look neat. Not one instance, but they're still complaining. All right, y'all. Well, since nobody wants to come up, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here and stay tuned because I'm going to have more out and I'm definitely going to be doing a separate live stream on these cops and how different they are with these migrants. So, y'all, please enjoy the rest of your day and make sure you watch the videos that I have posted earlier. Shalom, family.